Many times, those of us who experienced childhood trauma experienced anger as part of that trauma. And that anger caused us to believe that anger in general is dangerous, it's scary, and therefore it's not okay. So as trauma survivors, we often will push that down and avoid it at all costs. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what healthy anger looks like and how to use it in healthy ways. Start with healing one trigger at a time. You can do this. Hi, I'm Tamara Ridge, licensed marriage and family therapist. And like you, I grew up in a home where anger was used to justify abusive behavior and to intimidate. What that usually leads to for us as trauma survivors is that we try to avoid anger completely, even though there are healthy ways to feel and use anger, or we feel completely out of control and ashamed when our own anger flares out of our control. So I want you to think for just a minute. What is the purpose of anger? Is there a way to trust anger as your guide when you're healing and when you're interacting with others? I'm happy to tell you that the answer is yes. To do that, though, we have to find helpful ways to think about anger. Anger as an emotion is really one of three things. It's either covering a fear, or indicating that you have an unmet need that's been unmet for a very long time, or it indicates a boundary violation. And when you think of it this way, you can actually take specific actions that can be super appropriate to protect yourself in each one of those situations. So before we move any further, I just want to ask you a question. What situations bring out anger in you most often? Drop that in the comment section below. And I'll use your comments to add more videos to our anger and PTSD playlist. So let's get into the way we address anger in each of these three situations. The first, if your anger covers fear, the best thing to do is to stop, calm yourself, get in your body, and then ask. Usually it's better to do this after you've separated yourself so that you know that you're safe and you can calm yourself. And ask yourself, what am I afraid to lose? Or what do I think I need to protect? Then use the split sheet exercise that I've given you to help you identify if what you're afraid of right now, if it's a real threat. If it is, start to think about how you can set and maintain clear, healthy, protective boundaries. If it isn't real, then this is a situation that is triggering for you and you really need to investigate further so that you can heal that trigger in order to be able to stop becoming overly angry. So look at the fear, investigate it further. Is it real or is it not? And then take the appropriate action depending on which one you find. If you're angry because you have an unmet need that's been unmet for a really long time, if you feel like you keep asking for the same thing but your requests aren't getting what you want or what you need, ask yourself this. Are you being direct about your needs? Or, like most trauma survivors, are you expecting someone to already know what you're looking for? As children, we had the right to expect our caregivers to know what we needed without asking for it. And sometimes after we've grown up, we make the mistake of believing that we have that same right with other people that we're in relationship with. And it simply isn't true. We have to learn how to ask clearly and directly for what we want and need. So, if you are being direct, the next question to ask yourself is my request reasonable? If you're having trouble figuring that out, look in the description below. I have the relationship rights checklist. Click on that link and download the relationship rights checklist to help you understand what is reasonable and what isn't reasonable in relationship as far as your requests for your wants and needs to be met. If you're being indirect, try to form some words. Try asking things like, can I ask a favor? Would you mind rinsing your dishes after you finish eating? Or, I really don't like it when you leave your banana peels on the couch. Please pick up after yourself when you eat in the front room. Those may or may not be real life examples from when I was in unhealthy abusive relationships. So even as simple as how we respond to somebody leaving their stuff behind, expecting us to clean it up, or not being thoughtful about the way they're doing things, and us feeling the pressure to take care of them. Set a boundary. Don't do the thing that you think you're expected to do. The next thing I want to do is say a little bit about fear of setting boundaries and complex PTSD. Anger is a really good and really useful energy if instead of allowing it to eat a hole in your own stomach or allowing it to make you blow up out of control, you hold on to that energy and allow it to help you while you build an imaginary wall around the situation that you're in and the thing that you want for yourself. Think of the energy of the anger as the energy that helps you stay persistent in that thing that you need. Allow it to help you keep from backing down. And you can do that without screaming. Because when you hold the energy in your body and you're aware of it and you use it to maintain a boundary, the strength of your no can reinforce your intent better than losing control does. As an example, in the early 90s, I had a house guest who, outside of my knowledge, was making daily calls overseas. I caught her doing it a couple of times, asked her what she was doing, and she told me a story about how she went online and would tell her friends that she was home and they would call her, which didn't make sense, but I didn't question it because I spent a lot of that time in my life really shut down. But the phone bill came. The phone bill was bigger than the house payment. So I knew I needed to get her out of the house and back on a plane to her country. And of course she fought it and didn't want to go home. And I was never unkind, but I used my anger to protect my home and my small child by allowing it to help me stay awake all night and watch that she didn't become a flight risk because she was on a visa under our name. And to escort her all the way to the plane. She was wearing those super high heels that young kids at the time wore, and I was in tennis shoes. So I think it was pretty clear she wasn't going to go anywhere. But it was the force of my anger that allowed me to maintain a very firm boundary and to be very clear about what was happening next. And that's what I want you to think about. What is it that you need to protect, and how can you hold the energy in your body to help you maintain a boundary? Remember, it's healthy and appropriate to use energy from your anger to help you stay assertive when it comes to getting your needs met and legitimately protecting yourself from an actual threat. What's a problem is when you use your anger without being thoughtful about communicating without aggression. Assertiveness doesn't harm anyone, and you don't need to feel guilty about it. Aggressive behavior hurts people and it causes damage. That's the kind of behavior that you can overcome when you use the strategies that I've shared with you today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.